Hey everyone, Kate Miller here on our latest Zoom video. I am joined by my favorite female attorney and yours, Miss Stephanie Ross. Hey, Stephanie.
Hello.
Hey, all right. So, Stephanie, you and I are talking today about the new guidance that came down from the state for reopening schools in August. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe August, maybe September, who knows? But it's 26 pages full of information. A lot of it, in my interpretation, kind of has like a little bit of legal jargon. So I was hoping that we could help people kind of sift through that and understand it on a clear level. And go through really just the highlights of it because it's a very extensive document. So first and foremost, what I wanted to note about what we've read on this guide sheet that they've provided is that it is just an interim guideline, right? So it's not the final say. It's not that, this is the end all be all and this is exactly what's going to happen. They have the right to change it at any point in time, and they've got the ability and the powers to do that. So it's interim. So if anything about this really upsets you or really excites you, don't get too attached. So then the next thing that I noticed, Stephanie, was that there was really a pretty comprehensive list of something that in my mind had some legal implications about these requirements versus recommendations. Those are two very different words. So I was hoping you could speak to us about what you thought about that list.
Sure. Well, it looks like what they're doing, which I think is pretty interesting, is that they have three different types of plan. Plan A, which is minimum social distancing, which it looks like that's what they're operating on moving forward, hopefully in August,
right?
Where everybody gets back to school, and there are requirements for that.
Yeah.
And then there's Plan B, which is moderate social distancing, and these types of things are going to be required if the COVID-19 metrics worsen. And then there's Plan C, which is remote learning only, and that's when COVID-19 metrics worsen significantly, and we all kind of know what that looks like.
Yeah, that's stay at home, do not leave, do not pass go, do not collect $200.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And under Plan A, it looks like they have the schools are required to provide social distancing, floor seating markings in the waiting and reception areas. Mark 6 feet of spacing to remind students and staff to always stay 6 feet apart. Limit non-essential visitors and activities, and discontinue the use of any self-service food or beverage, which is something I honestly hadn't thought of, which I thought was an interesting addition to that. So it's just be prepackaged things to the kids, and it was under that's. I'm sorry.
No,
and
I
then
just think, wow.
Yeah. And then under Plan A, it is recommended that they minimize opportunities for sustained exposure by ensuring sufficient social distancing with at least 6 feet between people whenever possible, which includes the classroom. And if they can't do the classroom, if they can't do 6 feet, they recommend the students face the same direction, which is also something interesting. I guess that one of the things they mentioned in here is that most of the concern is that are droplets, which is why the recommendation is for everybody to wear masks.
Sure.
Although that's not in here as far as I know. But so the recommendation is to try to limit those droplets. So they want people to, if they can, put up plexiglass where students come up to like administrators or teachers and have students facing the same direction rather than facing each other.
Yeah, like little clusters where you would have like group meetings or whatever. It's a thing of the past. All right. So something that was interesting to me, Stephanie, when I was reading through this was if a student or teacher or administrator, anybody in the school tests positive for COVID, there's a 10-day waiting period before they would be able to come back into the school environment, which struck me as interesting just because throughout this whole process, we've been hearing that 14 days was kind of that, I guess, incubation period or whatnot. So to me, I thought that, maybe that was a little bit of an encouragement, that it's not really 2 full weeks. It's just 10 days that, after you get tested positive, that you're good after that. And, if you're not,
Mhm.
experiencing more symptoms, then you're good to go. So we'll see. Lot to be done, and lot to see what transpires between now and August. And certainly, hoping that the metrics continue to do good things, start going back down. So fingers crossed. Thanks for your input, Stephanie. Appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.